Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm bringing you another panda commission. I seem to get a lot of pandas over the past year, but this one is a little bit different from the other ones. It's a different sculpt, and I have a different sewing pattern as well, so stay tuned. Alright, first starting off with that resin cast of a bear head, and this is something that I have moulded and cast in resin, and it is original sculpture by me as well. It's one of my original doll sculptures, so it's pretty old, so it's probably need a new update of a bear, you know, whenever the mould kind of disintegrates. But it's still going strong, so there's no problem with the mould right now, but yeah, I will look at doing a new bear sculpt. And so what I'm doing is I'm painting around the eyes, nose and mouth in that black acrylic paint from Chromacryl, and you can use any acrylic paint you want, and I always do a primer on top of the resin where I'm going to paint. So do have a video coming up with some primers and stuff like that, so definitely look out for that if you want to know anything about primers. Alright, filling in the iris, and I'm doing a brown iris this time because pandas tend to have brown eyes. So I'm just using the same Chromacryl paint but in brown this time. And this one's a little bit thin, so you can see how it sort of moves around the paint. So I kind of make it a little bit thick, or you can do a couple of layers of it as well. But really the only bit that shows is the bit down the bottom away from the pupil. The rest of it is covered in black for the pupil, so no need to be super vigilant about that. So as you can see here, not really see, it's a bit dark. I'm just painting in the pupil with some of that black acrylic paint, and I'm using a dry brush technique, and it's just basically dabbing layers upon layer of that black paint, and not too thick because then you end up getting a sharp edge around your iris, around your pupil, and if you do a dab effect with a little bit of paint, you end up with a softer edge. Moving on to the feet, and this probably need a new redo of some feet as well. So this is also sculpted by me, molded and cast in resin. So I'm just going to go quickly brush over with some of that black paint, just because pandas' feet are black. So if you leave it white, you have a chance of that white coming through when you apply your faux fur. So moving on to the faux fur, this is what I'm going to be using. So it's that same white faux fur that I use for pretty much everything, and it is really good quality and it is really hardy and everything, so that's why I like using it. And this is the faux fur that I'll be using for the black pieces, so it's a little bit longer, so we'll require some trimming once it's all been put together. And you can see all of the patches that I've cut out, and this is how it will look when I sew it up on the sewing machine. And I prefer to use a sewing machine because it is a lot stronger and it's a lot faster than hand sewing things as well. So I'm going to go pin it together and sew it up. So here's what we have here. It's all sewn up. I've left the back end open, and you can see where I have attached all the black pieces to the white pieces. So that will be obviously the legs and the little stripe it has on the shoulder joint. So I can turn it inside out using this open end, and I've also left the head open and also the legs, so I can have an easy time turning it the right way around. And here's what I have once I've turned it the right way around. You can see it's just a big fluffy ball. It doesn't really look like much. And you can see how that black faux fur is that tad bit longer than the white. So I will be trimming it so it matches the length of the original fur, and I'll be trimming along the legs as well. So it's a lot shorter along the legs. So I will be trimming that too. And then I'll make a wire armature for this particular doll, and then I'll insert it in there and attach those resin pieces to that wire armature, as you can see here. And once I've done that, I will go ahead and sew up all of the loose ends using a ladder stitch. I do plan on doing a ladder stitch video, just have to be a little bit patient with me because I don't have a lot of time to make videos, but I do have it in my list of 1,000 videos to make when I get the time. So it's just basically going back and forth with the thread and closing, like making a blind stitch and closing with the faux fur. I know there are a lot of videos on ladder stitches on YouTube, so that can give you an idea, but I want to make one specifically for faux fur because it's probably a little bit different and a little bit more forgiving as well. So once that's all sewn up, I'll then go ahead and load up the open end of the faux fur with some tacky fabric glue, and I get this from a local store called Spotlight, but I'm sure you can find it in any hobby store in your area. And then I'll just attach it to that resin and hold it there for a little while until it becomes a bit tacky and it can adhere itself to that resin piece. Otherwise it ends up kind of flinging off. So once I've done that, I'll go ahead and faux fur the face and the feet, and then that's all done. So this little one was sent off to its new home last week sometime, so I hope it arrives very, very soon. And that is it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any requests, you can leave it in the comments down below. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Creatures of Nat, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye!